Okay, so I'm doing this video unscripted, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because a lot of people really don't think attributes is important. Like, they literally just go, when they're done making their call or creative wrestler, they just go into attributes and pretty much just crank everything to 100. Now that's good if you're not doing online, but the problem with that is that if you're doing online, you're pretty much gonna get jumped the moment that your opponent sees that your creative wrestler is 100 overall. So I thought that I'll make a video showing you guys how I do attributes on WWE 2K22, because I think that my way is one of the simplest ways to do it. And I already know that the first thing you guys are probably wondering is how come I have two versions of each of my calls / creative wrestlers. Well, the reason is because I still think that you should have a version of each call that you plan on using online that is 100 overall. And the reason is because, like I said, a lot of people, when they make creative wrestlers, they just crank their attributes all the way up to 100 overall, and then when they go online, they wonder why they get jumped, or why their opponent just decides to leave once they see who they picked. Now, to stop y'all from doing that, I think that a good counter is to bring out a wrestler, one of your wrestlers, which is also 100 overall, which is actually good, because then, you know, if your opponent decides to bring out a wrestler that isn't 100 overall, you can use the person that isn't 100 overall. And if your opponent brings out somebody that is 100 overall, then you can bring out the version of your creative wrestler that is 100 overall. But anyway, I think this is the one that isn't 100 overall. I think this, no, is it? Hold on, let me check. I'm pretty sure this one is the one that is an 88 overall and not 100. Let me check. Nope, that's not the right one. Okay, this is the one that's 100 overall. So that means that the next one is the 88 overall version of my male creative wrestler. And I do plan on making more creative wrestlers, I'm just lazy. Okay, yep, this is the one that is 88 overall. So the first thing that I do is I just reset everything to 50. Again, as you can see, I have everything at 50, and I think what I used to do is I try to get everything at the midpoint, but I think the reason why I stopped is because depending on like your weight, then your attributes, the max number for each attribute changes. So like, for example, I'm heavyweight, so it makes sense for my stamina not to go all the way up to 100. But anyway, so pretty much like my moveset video, you want to start off by knowing your creative wrestler's gimmick / like literally like what type of fighting style he uses. Like, for example, this one, his fighting style is MMA, more specifically the boxing side of MMA. So I'm gonna set his attributes based off that, basically. So after you choose your fighting style, you can choose it after the video, since 9 times out of 10 our fighting styles are different. I then go through every attribute and think if his fighting style requires it. Like, if his fighting style, like, does it evolve it? So like, for example, arm power, yes, MMA definitely evolves arm power. So I'm gonna bring it up to 75. And he is also a boxer, so I'm gonna bring it up to 95. And the reason I don't go past 95 is because the max superstar, literally the max superstar rating in this game is 95. Like, I think the highest overall in this game is Roman Reigns, who is a 95. So I just don't go past 95. You can if you want to, but I just recommend you don't go past 95. It just makes things more realistic. Okay, leg power. MMA definitely does involve a lot of leg power, so gonna put that up to 75. But boxing doesn't really involve it, so I'm just gonna keep it at 75. Grapple offense, definitely gonna put that up to 75. But like I say, he's a boxer, not really a grappler, so I'm gonna keep that at 75. Running offense. You don't really see a lot of running in MMA, so I'm gonna keep that at 50. Aerial offense. I mean, if you count the Superman punch, then yeah, that is in MMA. Aerial range. Aerial range, I guess that's also kind of MMA. And also, if you can't go to 75, just put it up to max. Honestly, if you can't go to 75 or 95, just put it up to the max for that attribute, because like I said, it doesn't actually put it to 100, it just puts it to the max because of your weight. So like if you're a cruiserweight, this is gonna be different. Like your aerial range might go all the way up to like 100, but since I'm a heavyweight, my aerial range only goes up to 65. Okay, power submission. You don't really see it. Power submissions are really not used in MMA, but technical submissions are. So I'm gonna keep this to 50, and I'm gonna put this up to 70. Okay, strike reversal, definitely put that up to max. Okay, grapple reversal. You do kind of learn, yeah, you do learn that in MMAs, but not really in boxing, so I'm gonna keep that at 75. Aerial reversals, I guess it kind of depends on what you're reversing. Like if you're reversing a punch or I'm just gonna put it up to 70 just because it kind of just depends on what you're reversing on in MMA. Like if you're reversing either an aerial strike or aerial grapple, you know, I don't think you can do aerial grapples in MMA. So body durability, you kind of learn body durability, and yeah, you can kind of train your body to resist punches and MMA and boxing. So I'm gonna put that all the way up to 95. Not really your arms though, but your legs, I don't really think you train your legs, because the leg kicks are very deadly in MMA, so I'm gonna keep that at 50, both of them at 50. Power submission defense, again, okay, keep that at 50 because power submissions aren't really used in MMA. And by the way, what I mean by power submissions is like things like a bear hug. Like you're not gonna see anybody get bear hugged in MMA, but you'll see people like get like in arm bars and leg bars in MMA, which are technical submissions. So that's the reason why I'm leaving power submissions at 50, but I'm gonna crank up technical submissions. Okay, pin escape. So basically how fast you can recover. MMA fighters, I feel like they have a fast recovery rate. I don't know, because usually when they get knocked down, they get up pretty fast. So I'll keep it at 75. But usually when you get knocked down in boxing, you just stay down. It takes them a while to get back up. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it at 75. Strength. That's really tackled in both MMA and boxing. So 95. Stamina. Yeah, definitely. Stamina is definitely a big thing in MMA and boxing. Agility. Basically how fast you can climb and stuff. Climbing's not really used in MMA or boxing, so we're gonna leave that alone. So no, MMA fighters do sometimes climb up the cage whenever they're celebrating. So actually, I'm gonna max that out. Movement speed. I feel like, yeah, that's really essential in both boxing and MMA. So I'm gonna put that up to 70, which is the max. I can't go all the way up to 95. Recovery. How quickly does it take? Oh, okay, yeah. But that's 75 because I already talked about recovery. How it's kind of big in MMA, but not in boxing. Special. Basically, how fast you want your special to go up. Honestly, I would just put both up to. Honestly, this kind of just depends on how fast you want to finish the match. So, I'm trying to think of it in like a boxing or MMA. I think I'm gonna put both of them up to 95 just because it takes. Actually, no, it doesn't. I'm just gonna leave it at 50 just because it takes them. I don't know actually. Yeah, special is pretty hard. I'm gonna tell you this right now though. The just put finisher all the way up just because, you know, you want a finisher to actually finish a match. But special, that's kind of weird. Because it's like, okay, how fast do you want to get your signature? Or how fast do you want to be able to recover? Like, how fast do you want your blue bars at the bottom of your HUD to fill up? And I'm gonna move my mic closer just because my neck is killing me from just because my neck is killing me from leaning in just to talking to the mic. Yeah, this one is definitely gonna be the one that's most confusing, because it's just like, okay, how fast do you want to be able to have the blue bars fill up, like your special bars to fill up? Do you want to fill up fast or fill up slow? I think I'm going to put it up to 75 just so that it kind of goes up fast, but not all the way. I mean, I can always come back and change it if I feel like it fills up too slow. But anyway, as you can see, I am at 86 overall. From doing all these settings, it got me up to an 86 overall. And that is basically how you do this. That is basically how I do attributes. I think that's pretty much the easiest way to do it. Just kind of figure out your created wrestlers fighting styles, and then set your attributes off there. Like, if your fighting style involves it, then I guess put it up. Then I guess go up to 75, and if say like, okay, another fighting style that your fighter uses, also use it, then go up to 95. That's basically how I do it. I usually don't go lower than 50 though, because I feel like once you go lower than 50, that's kind of unfair, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like that's kind of too much, because then if you follow that rule, then it's going to pretty much get you like 60, or it's going to pretty much get you in the 60s and 70s instead of like the 80s and 90s. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Again, I'm sorry this video wasn't scripted. I honestly did not know how to script a video like this, so I was going off my brain. That's why I was kind of tripping off my words a lot and not talking as fast and confidently as my last tutorial video. Guys, if you want to see more videos like this, more tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe. I think I'm planning on doing how I make face textures videos, because as you can see, this guy has a face texture. I don't know if you guys could tell, but yeah, he has a face texture, and in my opinion, they look pretty good, honestly. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, then subscribe, because I think that's going to be the next tutorial video I do. And also, I recommend you check out my Let's Play videos, because honestly, all of them are fire. They're only 4 minutes long, so if you can't get past the 4-minute video, then that's kind of sad. That means your attention span is really, really low. But yeah, guys, that is how I do attributes in WWE 2K22.